Huge worlds, faction versus faction PvP combat, large, unparalleled exploration, drama. There's just something about the MMORPG genre that you can't find anywhere else, a void you just can't fill. Yet even with such unbelievably stunning and engrossing worlds to populate, the player base for MMOs as a whole are in a perpetual state of decline. Yes, games like World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy XIV, Elder Scrolls Online, Guild Wars 2, Black Desert, RuneScape, and a few others are all capable of retaining an active player base, but even they show a decay in activity. The genre as a whole is decaying, and there are a variety of reasons for that. I want to take a few minutes of your time here to go over why I think the MMORPG genre is stagnating, and I want to then further talk about what I believe can be done to fix it. So we all know the history of the genre. Early on, games like Ultima Online, EverQuest, and Asheron's Call pioneered the MMORPG genre. The three of them together were collectively known as the Big Three of the late 1990s. If it weren't for them, we wouldn't really have much of, if any, MMORPG genre at all. Next came games like Dark Age of Camelot, Anarchy Online, and Ultima Online 2. Initially, Anarchy Online launched to an absolutely astonishingly large number of players, which crippled the game. Months later, Dark Age of Camelot launched with various innovative features like realm vs. realm combat, PvP, and surpassed Ultima Online and Asheron's Call both in terms of popularity, becoming the main competitor for EverQuest. In 2001, Jagex next brought their vision, RuneScape, into fruition, followed by Ragnarok Online and MapleStory in 2002, both of which launched over in Asia to critical success and popularity. Late in 2002, Square Enix released Final Fantasy XI, the very first MMO to provide clients for various platforms using a single set of servers, along with holding the title for the very first true MMO to ever appear on console. In 2003, we saw the final wave of the second generation MMORPGs, Toontown Online, EVE Online, EverQuest Online Adventures, Lineage 2, Second Life, and City of Heroes being the last MMO released in early 2004. Later in 2004, Sony launched EverQuest 2 in a follow-up to the critical success of the first in the franchise. Sony had expected to dominate the market like they had up until that point, but little did they know that Blizzard Entertainment with World of Warcraft would be larger than ever predicted. While EverQuest 2 was a commercial success, World of Warcraft immediately overtook every single MMO released up until this point, absolutely dwarfing every other pay-to-play MMORPG, and still dominates the market 14 years later. In April of 2005, ArenaNet launched Guild Wars, introducing the world to a new financial model that is known to have been partly responsible for the game's success. At the same time, there had been a significant influx of new MMORPGs adopting the free-to-play model, with games like Silk Road Online, Flyf, Perfect World, MapleStory, and Shadowbane all launching to relative success. Since then, the market had continued to evolve, with new MMORPGs launching almost yearly to continual reduced success, which led us to where we are today. A handful of MMORPGs left, and hopeful something will revitalize the genre. Back in the late 90s and early 2000s, MMOs were a whole nother creature. They were more difficult, more social. They required teamwork and active participation in the community to achieve goals. In the late 2010s, MMOs evolved into something much easier, often being soloable for the most part, albeit requiring a party for things like obligatory dungeons or raids. Where games once promoted exploration and teamwork, forging a sense of camaraderie as it were, now games lead players by the hand, from NPC to NPC, repeating the same fetch and kill quests until endgame. Unless you're a Korean grinder like Black Desert, which instead opts to have players repetitiously spam their left click for hours on the same spawn of monsters for a little juicy XP. Which actually leads me to my next point. You can't deny the popularity of mobile games or mobile MMORPGs. You can't. There is absolutely no way to argue that the genre has become riddled with them. Games like Blade and Soul, Bless, Ion, Black Desert, MapleStory, and more are all porting their games over onto mobile devices because they know where the market is headed. And they're making preparations for that. Back in 2012, the PC platform took up 37% of the overall gaming market in terms of growth, with the console platform taking up 45% and the mobile platform taking up a mere 18%. Fast forward to 2018, the PC platform takes up 24%, the console platform takes up 25%, and the mobile platform takes up a whopping 51% of the market. It is projected to have the mobile platform taking upwards of 60% of the gaming market in a mere 2 years. That is how far the market has shifted, and that is why so many companies are transitioning their games over to mobile devices instead. And onto that, the mobile market itself makes over $70 billion out of the gaming market's $137 billion total gross for 2018, and you can clearly see that the mobile market is the future. So, with mobile devices in essence being the future, what happened to the PC genre? Where did we fail? And more importantly, why did we fail? Browsing around Reddit, various gaming websites and forums, and talking to the community in general, one commonality in opinions was ever prevalent. World of Warcraft is responsible for the ruination of the genre. This theory does hold merit if you take a moment to think about it. Before World of Warcraft, games were making active innovations, introducing new ideas, and ultimately finding resounding success. However, after World of Warcraft launched to commercial success and continued its path of destruction in 2008, companies took note. Instead of taking risks, developers instead abandoned experimentation and became risk-averse. World of Warcraft is often credited with bringing refinement and simplification of many traditional game mechanics to the genre, allowing for a much wider audience. Now, I hit on the social aspects of the MMO genre earlier, and I will bring it up once again here. Games used to require socialization, teamwork, and group play to get anywhere. While many gamers didn't really mind that kind of collaborative element in-game, it was all but a necessity, not an option. Thus, the aforementioned argument is countered with the contention that the byproduct of this process has been the erosion of the social imperative that was at the heart of the genre at the time. World of Warcraft has hindered innovation in the MMORPG genre not directly, but instead by developers wasting their time attempting to emulate its formula instead of taking the genre in new directions. This resulted in a long list of weak and uninspired WoW clones, such as Ion, Rift, Wildstar, and more, that as a consequence, MMOs lost their luster and developers are now shying away from traditional MMOs. If you take a moment to think about it, there hasn't really been a single MMO to really deviate from and break the standard mechanics of the genre, with the exceptions being, and this is a stretch even, The Elder Scrolls Online and Guild Wars 2. Developers, with their indifference to taking risks and indecision surrounding the genre's future, have led to the rise of MMO variants such as the MOBA and Battle Royale genres. So, while World of Warcraft did pave the way for the genre initially, causing a lot of change and setting the standard for MMOs, the decline of the genre lies in the hands of the developers and their uncertainty and indecisiveness. While most people are contemplating where we go from here, there are a few developers that are of the impression that the only way to breathe new life into the genre is to actually look back at precisely what we did correctly in the past. The only way we can revitalize the MMO genre is by instead going backwards. Game developers, at least indie game developers, are building new MMOs around a specific demographic of gamers that reminisce over the old days of MMOs. Older gamers or younger gamers that have a similar mindset will flock to these games due to their cooperative social features that require more active communication and teamwork. More social interactivity, player-driven economies to provide a sense of purpose, difficult experiences that are much more likely to require a team to combat, and while a lot of players are, I guess, highly anticipating games like Pantheon, Crowfall, and Ashes of Creation, I still remain a little skeptical. Yes, providing players with an overhauled, updated experience of an old-school MMORPG is going to unequivocally attract attention, but this generation of gamers are more apt to find themselves easily distracted. This generation perceives the MMO genre to be a collection of ill-conceived, diluted, linear, single-player RPGs and would much rather invest their time into games like Fortnite, PUBG, or Overwatch. Those games took the social aspects of cooperative gameplay, social interaction, and teamwork, and they essentially revolutionized the MMO genre. And before you criticize me here for calling them MMOs, which they are 100% not, I'm saying they revolutionized the genre, providing players another platform to make use of the features that made MMOs so special. No, of course not. The genre itself is still alive and kicking. You have games like World of Warcraft with millions of active subscribers, Final Fantasy XIV, Guild Wars 2, Elder Scrolls Online, Black Desert Online, Blade and Soul, and more that tally up to having tens of millions of players ready for the next big thing. The issue is that most new MMOs that come out don't really provide much in the way of innovation, instead being Korean grindfests, poorly conceived indie titles, or just mobile ports. Instead of taking the time to do what MOBAs, Battle Royales, and the MMORPG genre itself did in the past to bring something new to the table, we're getting re-releases of games like Bless Online, Bless Unleashed, Warlords Awakening, and just other garbage. Yes, Ascent Infinite Realm looks good, so does Pantheon, Crowfall, Ashes of Creation, Camelot Unchained, Chronicles of Illyria. We have plenty to look forward to. The issue is that, are any of them actually going to be worth playing? Are players even going to be interested in what they have to offer? Are they going to be able to retain player interest? I'm sure all of these questions are going to be answered in due time. Until then, I would personally love to hear your feedback on the topic. I've seen other YouTubers and MMO websites do "Is the MMORPG genre dead?" videos and articles, and this is more or less my take on it. Whether you agree or disagree, I would nevertheless love to read through anything you have to say pertaining to the topic, so don't hold back. I'll do my very best to read through and reply to as many of the comments as possible. Anyway guys, that is it for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Peace. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, drop a like, leave a comment, consider subscribing to my channel over here, checking out another video, or following me at Twitter at STIX to just chat or hang out.